welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Collis Williams, long time viewer of the channel, or at least back in the early days. I don't know if you still watch Collis, but thanks anyway. And the question is, who wins in a fight? Naruto Uzumaki versus Meliodas. This, for me, comes straight up into a scaling question. Now, also, to be fair, if I maxed out Meliodas with all of the commandments that because he once did wield all of the commandments, this fight I do believe leans more into Meliodas' favor. But if we break it down, these guys are pretty equal in a lot of ways. I'm sure I'm going to get first person and flat out admit I don't watch the or read or Ten Commandments at all, or the Seven Deadly Sins. That might be one I should pick up and start reading. But, there's never been anything that flat out destroys the world in Seven Deadly Sins, to the best of my knowledge. And in Naruto, there have been a couple planetary level feats, but they're far and few between. Naruto is among the people who can pull them off. But, the number of them I could probably list in terms of individuals who are arguably planetary off my hands, really. Sasuke, hypothetically, is planetary, but he doesn't actually have a move apart from maybe Susanoo that could destroy the planet. Naruto, using Kurama, could be planetary. Madara could be planetary. Jubito could be planetary. And any Otsutsuki could be planetary. And technically speaking, Boruto and some of the, Shinju are planetary-esque, because they do scale higher at that point, but it gets really difficult to anyway. Meliodas has the physicality and the speed to definitely keep up with Naruto, because he definitely get into light speed level feats at that point for speed feats in Seven Deadly Sins. Durability wise, this guy can take some of the hardest hits in his verse, which Naruto falls on average for his power level into that level of power. Naruto, he's also got more experience in fighting in combat than Naruto. Naruto, though, does have arguably more versatility thanks to Shadow Clones, Kurama, because we were using peak Naruto, Kurama, Sage Mode, all the Rasengan variants. We also know he has Magma Release, Magnet Release, Boil Release. I don't think he has Wood Release, even though there is Hashirama cells fused to his arm. He can also absorb ninjutsu, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, although that means nothing in this fight. We know he also knows Mud Wall. He has obviously Baryon mode, Kurama transformations as well. If we were to say Six Paths Chakra, does he still have? That's actually a really good question. Let's hypothetically say for a moment that Naruto just doesn't have the Truth-Seeking Orbs anymore. As far as we know, he doesn't. Can Naruto make Truth-Seeking Orbs? He has access to all 5 base chakra elements and Yin-Yang Release, to the best of my knowledge. So, could he make Truth-Seeking Orbs? Because I've raised this question before and this question has been raised up, what happened to the Truth-Seeking Orbs with Naruto? But even still, hypothetically, if he's got the components to make them, which he should have, why hasn't he made any of them? He still has 6 Paths Chakra. I believe, anyway. And also, do you even need 6 Paths Chakra to make Truth-Seeking Orbs? Because again, Truth-Seeking Orbs are just a combination of the 5 elements, plus, I believe it's Yin Release. And Naruto, I believe, has that. At least I know he has Yin. I'm pretty sure he has Yin-Yang Release. So why can't he just do that? We've only seen them with 6 Paths characters, not with someone who just has access to the 5 plus that. And if Naruto's had them before, you'd think it'd actually be easier to do it. Anyway, I digress. So Naruto we know has FTL plus feats. We know he's got planetary level attack potency, but not raw strength. So in terms of just the physicality and the scaling, Naruto, we know, can stack the planetary with the use of his chakra, Kurama, all that. But in raw physical stats, Meliodas might have that edge. Naruto also has a healing factor, not Wolverine level or anything, but a healing factor. But Meliodas' kit is actually nowhere near as impressive as Naruto's. He's got some weapons and a couple of abilities like Black Fire. I don't think it's like Amaterasu burns hotter than the sun, but it's like a kind of a black supernatural fire. But we've seen Naruto use his chakra to just offset Amaterasu, so that wouldn't be a big deal. And honestly, full counter is described as being able to counter magic. It's not described to counter anything else. So, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, from what I could find, it can't do it. So full counter really doesn't play a factor in this fight. Add on the fact that Naruto can kind of not speed blitz him, but because they both stay in comparable speed categories, he can basically overwhelm Meliodas. And unfortunately, even with his base sin of anyone who holds hatred in their heart, because he was the base, not sin, commandment, base commandment of love, anyone who holds hatred in their heart will be unable to inflict harm on anyone. Well, Naruto doesn't hold hatred in his heart, so this commandment of love means nothing. But okay, what about if I gave him all the commandments, all of them, could he then beat Naruto? Well, let's look this down real quick, because this would be the deciding factor if I'm maxing Meliodas out here, even with assault mode or things like those lines. So, faith. Anyone who shows a lack of faith will have their eyes set ablaze. That one, Naruto, faith and hope are basically 2 in 1, more or less. So, I feel like that one Naruto can get away with, can work around with. Pacifism. Anyone who kills will rapidly have their own time stolen away, causing them to rapidly age and die. Well, hold on, 1 second. Really? That's how it works? Well, do you have to kill in the presence of that person? Because that's the way it seems to be described. I mean, I'm guessing the one I'll use. But does that work if you kill the user? I don't know. That one I feel like is up in the air. Okay, what about patience? Anyone who shows intolerance of pain will be inflicted with further pain. Okay, that's stupid, honestly. Like, trying to hide your pain is, like, stupid. Like, that, again, won't hurt Naruto. I know for a fact that there's a couple here that could be very problematic. For example, piety. Anyone who shows their back to the wielder will become an obedient slave of the Demon King, and by extension, the commandments holder. That one could be a problem. I feel, though, that Kurama being in there could offset that, just because his influence could rival the Demon, because on a sheer power output scale. That's actually a good question. That's a versus for another, Kurama versus the Demon King in terms of raw power. But we also know that Kurama himself has been put under control before, so... And Naruto would have to turn his back, or was it shows his back, or anyone who shows the back. Naruto would have to be careful, especially if he doesn't know about these things. Well, what about purity? Anyone who conducts impure deeds will be inflicted with illness. Again, I feel like that was just kind of That one probably won't do much. Repose. Anyone who fights without rest will get their magic sealed away. Doesn't matter at all. Reticence. Anyone who expresses hidden feelings and emotions will be unable to speak. Doesn't mean a thing here. Selfishness. Anyone who holds desire for another person will lose their memories, emotions, and sense of self. Holds desire. See, here's that. I'm not 1,000% sure on that one, because does that mean, like, if you, like, love someone, it would matter? Like Hinata, he loves his wife, his desire for his wife. Does that matter? Or Sasuke, does that matter here? Again, I feel like Kurama could help offset that. No. The one commandment that could truly become problematic and might be the thing that could do him in is truth. Anyone who lies or goes back on their word will be turned to stone. Now, Naruto is known for being the ninja who never goes back on his word. That's his ninja way. But it's one of those things where in the heat of battle, he could tell a white lie just to trick Meliodas. And that's something Naruto would do, like do something underhanded like that. Because he's a ninja and he's trying to win the fight. And so basically, the longer this fight goes on, the worse the odds become for Naruto, because he becomes more and more at risk to any one of these sins that could do any number of different things to him. Now, again, there are certain sins that just won't work on Naruto. Hateman loves sin will not work on Naruto. I don't believe the lions, like the sins, I keep saying sins, commandments. I don't see a lot of the sins having, I keep saying sins, commandments having an effect on Naruto. But I do believe there are some that if Naruto is not careful, could basically be his undoing. And particularly that truth one, even though Naruto as a character is not someone, again, I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way. Context is everything. Even a white lie could work with that sin or something underhanded. So there is certainly arguments that Meliodas could beat Naruto in that, or having the back turned on his opponent. That one could happen very easily. Or showing his back, I should say. But with Kurama in there, that does pose an X factor. Could Kurama's influence supersede things like brainwashing into an obedient slave, or Naruto losing a sense of self? I am more inclined to think yes, because of the way the nature of Jinchuriki works, being able to resist things like genjutsu. They're stronger together than apart. But it would still be up in the air. So the long and short of this comes down to, who do I think wins the fight? Meliodas also carries more weapons. Speed-wise, these guys are comparable. Definitely comparable. If this goes into Baryon mode, Meliodas might be in trouble, but Baryon mode is short-lived, and it couldn't even take down the guy who only had 24 hours to live, basically. So ultimately, Naruto, Baryon mode really actually wouldn't be an effective thing. But if Naruto is able to have truth-seeking orbs added onto here, that adds a whole nother level of, oh no, for Meliodas to deal with. And in fact, again, they don't count as magic, so if those things touch him, he does not have the power to really counter those things. And those things will obliterate him on a spiritual and physical level. So that's problematic as well. Not to mention tail beast balls. I would lean towards Naruto, because especially if Naruto is making, say, clones, the clones can just poof out of existence if they become subjugated under his his law or his control. But Naruto himself would have to run, and Naruto then would be able to figure out that there's a power he has. I can't turn my back on him. So Naruto, while not as experienced as Meliodas, still has plenty of years of experience on the battlefield, and arguably is probably the better hand-to-hand fighter technique-wise. Meliodas, though, does have the straight, pure physical advantage: durability, endurance, strength. And then those commandments, again, become very, very difficult to deal with, especially some of the more nuanced ones. I will lean towards Naruto. I do, from what I understand, again, from what I know of Seven Deadly Sins versus Naruto, I think Naruto does scale a little higher, but I will be fair and say I don't know the full cosmology of Seven Deadly Sins. I'll go Naruto in this fight. I think skill-wise, Naruto overall has the more versatile although it's really not that versatile. I don't think either of them are that much faster than the other, but Naruto has shadow clones that can capitalize with that speed. Meliodas does have all the physical advantages, and the commandments are very unique. He also has more weapons than Naruto as well, and has a few specialized techniques like the fire. But Naruto also has Kurama. He has chakra forms. He's got all the different Rasengan variants. Chakra changes in chakra nature. Plus magnet release or Sengun. He theoretically could seal Meliodas away. I think Naruto definitely holds the overall edge. But are there avenues where Meliodas would win? Yes, there are certainly. If Naruto gets caught in a lie, then the sin of truth, that's something that even Kurama can stop. So, because it's magic versus chakra, so I would probably have to go with Naruto in this fight. But I'll let anyone who disagrees with me, especially about Seven Deadly Sins, throw their hat in the ring and bitch me out all they want. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.